All right, so I'm going to go to I'm going to pick the correct checklist. I'm going to go to the Start a Transaction button here. This only applies if you're in the coaching program. I'm just signing into a different account right now. So I'm starting the transaction. It should pop up a DocuSign room. 1 second, I need to get this login information. All right, so one quick tip while I am seeing this on my screen. When you create a new room and your forms have this big sample watermark across the front of it, all you have to do to get rid of this sample watermark, if you want to print them, send them without filling out any details or anything like that, all you have to do is open up the document and just waiting for this to load. To remove that sample watermark, all you have to do is either put a period or a space in any of these text boxes, and that removes the sample watermark. All right, so to access our cover sheets, which is what the first thing we're going to go over today, we're going to come up to this add button here. We're going to go to DocuSign Forms. And we're going to navigate down here to this Keller Williams South Florida region library here. So these cover sheets is something that me and other marketing and tech trainers, we made these to kind of help you guys fill out your forms way easier. So you don't have to go through the contract and write down look for every single box, write all the information in. You can use these cover sheets to pretty easily and quickly fill in all that information. So I'm going to pick this residential cover sheet here. We have cover sheets for each type of transaction you can do, whether it's commercial, land, lease, and residential. So we're going to pick the residential one here since that's the most common. I'm going to open it up and it's going to be right here in my room here. So I'm going to click on this residential cover sheet. And this is what it'll look like. You'll have your buyer one information, seller one information, property information, which is the MLS number, property, street address 2, township, range, section, plat book, plat page, property legal description, anything that you could use for, or any field that you will need for your contracts, whether it's required or optional, will show up here in these cover sheets. Some more property information. You have addendas, additional terms, listing prices, seller financing, mortgage, interest rate percentage, and then down here is buyer 2 information, seller 2 information if it's a couple buying or selling, escrow information, agent information, and this will pull some information from Command when we created it, like our office information, obviously the listing agents information, but really any form that has some type of box you need to put information into will be covered in this cover sheet here. So let's start with this. We'll go buyer one name. We'll just put, we'll put my name. We'll put their address right now is 16886 Jenny Lane, Loxahatchee, we'll do Florida 33470. Palm Beach County. Put in my contact info and my email. We'll just go through all of this information here. We'll put in the property address 1. right, then once we get all this information in, we try to think of something else to put in. We'll put like an interest rate of, I have no clue, do 6%. Property inspection days, we'll do 7 days. Okay, yeah, we'll just put acceptance date, we'll put it as tomorrow, closing date as the 12th. Maximum days to obtain loan for offer, we'll put 7 days. Just any information that we have, we'll put in here. Buyer agent name, we'll just put Mulligan agent company. Williams partners, phone number, I can't think of it right now, to be honest. Email, we'll put her email in. And then once we hit save and close, all this information will then transfer to our other forms that we have in our library. And it will also transfer to our details section in our DocuSign room. So once I hit save and close, it's going to save all this information. And if I come up here and I add we'll go to FAR, let's do a as is residential contract, add selected. Now when I go to this form, all the information is already starting to be input for me. Now, if I went through and I did all those fields, if I had all that information from the listing on the MLS and everything like that, that's where all of this would come into terms. If you have their like their escrow information, their like here is the expected closing date. All of that got automatically input to this form here. So the cover sheets are really good way to save you some time on actually writing these contracts out, so you don't have to go to each box and hover over it, see what you need to put it in, make sure you're not missing anything, and doing all that stuff. Does anyone have any questions on that so far?
All good here.
All right. Can you guys see like the benefit of a cover sheet and how it could save you time?
I had a question, Kyle.
Yep, go right ahead.
On the form, the contracts, in other words, you pull up the form, but that form is, what's the term? It's generic. It'll work for any listing or purchase and sale, any of those contracts. Is that what it is?
The cover sheet?
Yeah, it's a cover sheet.
The cover sheet will work for anything that you have.
Right. That's what I thought. So
It's
you don't have,
it's generic and it'll work for any form, any type of transaction.
right. That's what I thought. So you don't have a separate cover sheet for each type of transaction.
So
It's easier.
if we go back to our South Florida Regional Library, the residential cover sheet will be viable for any type of residential transaction that you have. And we also have lease cover sheets, land cover sheets, and commercial.
Right.
So they're pretty basic. They'll work for anything. Like if that cover sheet, you can use it for a buyer, a seller, or a tenant.
Right.
And it'll all it'll work together. Does that answer your question?
Very excellent. Sure does.
So Kyle, for a rental, would it be the regular one or the lease one? The cover sheet?
I imagine it would be the lease one.
Okay.
Yeah, so if South Florida region lease cover sheet, that would be for your rentals, your landlords, and your leases.
Okay. This is cool.
It's a really good tool that not a lot of people know is there.
I had no clue. So this is awesome.
So if you combine these cover sheets with the form templates, which is something we're going to go over tomorrow, and the envelope templates, which we're going to go over Friday, it really kind of, once you kind of master those three, you can write an offer within minutes just by using these cover sheets and the form templates. Because this puts in all your information, the form templates is going to automatically check all your check boxes and your radio buttons and everything like that. So if we go back into the as-is contract, like we have check boxes here that aren't going to be filled in because it's not something that you can do in the cover sheet. But we can make templates where these will save automatically. So all you have to do is apply that template. You'll make several based on different transactions that you could have. And then you'll just apply that template to the form so that you always have these radio boxes and check boxes completed. Does that make sense?
Kyle, if I understand correctly, so you use these form contracts, and after that you go to the specific contract, a specific type of contract within that, like a residential,
Mhm.
like in one as is, you pull up the as is.
So you could have like an as is that's like a cash offer. So you have certain radio buttons and check boxes here to indicate that it's an all cash offer. So then you can save that form as a template and just label it as is contract cash offer. And when you do that, if you have another all cash offer later down the road for another transaction, you can just pull that template out, input the information with the cover sheet, and your contract's done.
So you're saying there's a cover contract, there's a cover form, and there's a regular form you can use. You fill out both, right? Template, the form template and the cover.
The first time, yes. So you always fill out that cover sheet that I just went over for the
Do that
information for the
first.
property.
Right.
The form template, you can kind of think of that as a cover sheet that you already complete that you can use for all the other transactions that you do that are the same.
Okay. So the order would be the form first, then you go to the contract, and then you do the format for that contract. Is that what you do?
So cover sheet, fill out all the information, and then apply the form template to whatever contract you have, whether it's an as is or whatnot. And then after that, we'll cover envelope templates, which
Okay,
will also save you time.
I understand.
All right. So like I said, I was gonna keep this really short and sweet. We're at 4:30, so doing pretty good on time. That's it for cover sheets for today, but I'll stick around and answer any other questions that you guys have. It doesn't have to be about DocuSign or opportunities. It can be anything about command or. No problem, Lishka.
All good. Thanks, Kyle. This was good.
Yeah, no problem. All right, Tom, Fran, you guys have any questions?
We're gonna start working on it. That's what we're gonna do, practicing.
Okay, yep, practice on the cover sheets. Tomorrow we'll cover the form templates. That's gonna be a little more intensive, but we should knock it out. Should be good.
Okay, we appreciate it, Kyle.
All right, no problem. Have a good one.
Yeah, you do.